Hi friends, my name is Millie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you my October TBR. So October and spooky season is my favourite time of year, if you can tell by all of the spooky season autumnal related videos I've been making, by the books I've been reading. I am just such a spooky season girly and I'm very excited for October, especially because I am going to be participating in the Spookoplathon. So Becca in the Books on BookTube, one of my favourite booktubers, she does a readathon in October, which is the Spookoplathon, and I'm very excited to be actually filming a video for it this year. I participate in her readathons every single year, but this is the first time that I'm actually sort of filming a video and putting it out there that I join in. So yeah, I'm going to be doing this. And also, if you're wondering why we're in a new location, this is my TBR bookshelf. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys in a video my TBR bookshelf, but this is it. And it's just going to be easier to sit here and grab all of the books from here for this video. But anyway, so let's get into the Spookoplathon. So I have a number of books that I want to read this month that I'm like, I need to try and fit in somehow. So normally in my TBRs I don't normally talk about my NetGalley reads, however because I'm doing the Spookoplathon and getting different prompts and stuff, I will be talking about what I'm going to be trying to read on NetGalley. I've kind of gone for that I'm going to be reading 7 NetGalley books, and then if I manage to get to any more I'll just roll a prompt and see what I can get to. And then there are 2 books that I'm going to be reading physically that I cannot tell you about because I am a long list reader for the Waterstones Children's Book Prize, and at the time of filming I've read one, but I'm about to read my second, but the other 2 haven't arrived yet. So they're also going to be read in October, and I can't tell you what they are because obviously it's a secret. They will be being read in October and I will be trying to fit them into this as much as possible. So I will be trying to fit them into one of the prompts that I roll from this board, but obviously just not telling you what the book is. I'll just be like, oh, it's one of the long list books. So let's get into the rolls. So that means that with the 2 books and the 7 NetGalley arcs, I need to roll at least 9 times. And then any rolls I get that I can't fit any of those 9 books in, I will pick a physical read. And then obviously if we get any doubles, we have an extra roll. So let's get into the very first roll. Okay, so we've got the playing piece, which is a Kiki's Delivery Service earring because she's a witch. Then we have got the chance cards and the community shelf cards. The chance cards are like titles, so I've just picked some random titles. These are shuffled, so I'll just pop that in the middle somewhere. And the community shelf ones are like TBR prompts, so for example like a fantasy book or whatever. And we've got 2 6-sided dice, so let's see what we want to start with. Okay, so first roll is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Past. The very first roll was Past, which is a book that you should have already read or has been on a past TBR. So for this one, I'm going to pick one of my NetGalley arcs because all of the NetGalley books I'm reading at the minute have been archived. So they have already been published. I'm way behind on them. I think I'm like 3 months-ish behind on NetGalley at the minute. So any of those ones would fit for this prompt. But the one I'm going to use to fill it is The Palace of Eros by Caro de Robertis. So this one is like Greek mythology, Psyche and Eros. I love that kind of thing. So I will read you out the synopsis because I have got no idea what it's about at all. So let's read out the synopsis. Young, headstrong Psyche has captured the eyes of every suitor in town and far beyond with her tempestuous beauty, which has made her irresistible as a woman, yet undesirable as a wife. Secretly, she longs for a life away from the expectations and demands of men. When her father realizes that the future of his family and town will be forever cursed unless he appeases an enraged Aphrodite, he follows the orders of the oracle, tying Psyche to a rock to be ravaged by a monstrous husband, and yet a monster never arrives. When Eros, non-binary deity of desire, sees Psyche, she cannot fulfill her promise to her mother Aphrodite to destroy a mortal young woman. Instead, Eros devises a plan to sweep Psyche away to an idyllic palace, hidden from the prying eyes of Aphrodite, Zeus, and the outside world. There, against the dire dictates of Olympus, Eros and Psyche fall in love. Each night, Eros visits Psyche under the cover of impenetrable darkness, where they both experience untold passion and love. But each morning, Eros flies away before light comes to break the spell of the palace that keeps them safe. Before long, Psyche's nights spent in pleasure turn to days filled with doubts as she grapples with the cost of secrecy and the complexities of freedom and desire. Restless and spurred by her sisters to reveal Eros' true nature, she breaks her trust and forces a reckoning that tests them both and transforms the very heavens. That sounds really good. So it is Greek mythology, it's queer, it's a retelling. I'm excited for it, and it is fairly short, I believe. I think it's sort of around 300-ish pages, so I am very, very excited to get to that one. So moving on to the second roll. Roll number 2. Ooh. 9. Bonfire. So the second roll was Bonfire, which is a book that you're interested in but not sure if you will like, and I'm actually going to fill this one with one of the books from the Waterstones Children's Book Prize, because obviously they're books that I haven't picked for myself, although I'm interested in reading them and finding out why they've been longlisted. They're not necessarily ones that I would have picked up if I wasn't a long list reader, so I'm going to pick one of those for that prompt. Roll number 3. Okay, so we rolled 6 and we've landed on Pentacle. Roll number 3 was Pentacle, which is read a 5-star prediction, and I'm going to fill this one with a NetGalley arc, which is going to be Celestial Monsters by Aidan Thomas. This is the sequel to The Sunbearer Trials, which was a 5-star read for me, so I'm obviously hoping that the sequel is going to be 5 stars. In The Sunbearer Trials, it's kind of like The Hunger Games meets Percy Jackson. It's based in, I think it's Mexican mythology, and it's really, really fun. There's these trials. The main character is a young trans boy who is trying to earn his wings, and it is just a fantastic book. I had such a great time reading the first book, so obviously I'm really hoping that the second one will be 5 stars as well, and I really think it will be. I love Aidan Thomas's writing. Cemetery Boys by the Sorcerer is also one of my favourite books of all time. I rated that one 5 stars. I've reread it about 3 times. I tend to try and reread it every Halloween. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to with this TBR that I'm building, but we'll see if I can fit it in or not. But yeah, I love Aidan Thomas, so obviously hoping that I will have another 5-star read from them. Roll number 4. That's 8. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shirley Jackson. Roll number 4 was Shirley Jackson, which is to read a book with a building on the cover, because she wrote The Haunting of Hill House. So the one I've chosen for this one is another NetGalley arc, which is Castle of the Cursed by Romina Garber. So this one looks absolutely perfect for spooky season. I'm going to read you out the synopsis because I have no idea what it's about, but I've just been reading it and it sounds absolutely perfect. So, a delicious dark and gothic romance. The house is always hungry. After a mysterious attack claims the lives of her parents, all Estella has left is her determination to solve the case. Suffering from survivor's guilt so intense that she might be losing her grip on reality, she accepts an invitation to live overseas with an estranged aunt at their ancestral Spanish castle, La Sombra. Beneath its gothic facade, La Sombra harbours a trove of family secrets, and Estella begins to suspect her parents' deaths may be linked to their past. Her investigation takes a supernatural turn when she crosses paths with a silver-eyed boy only she can see. Estella worries Sebastian is a hallucination, but he claims he's been trapped in the castle. They grudgingly team up to find answers, and as their investigation ignites, so does a romance, mistrust entwined with every caress. As mysteries pile up, it feels to Estella like everyone in the tiny town of Oscuro is lying, and that whoever was behind the attack has followed her to Spain. The deeper she ventures into La Sombra's secrets, the more certain she becomes that the suspect she's chasing has already found her, and they're closer than she ever realised. That sounds so good. I am very excited to read that. It is the first Romina Garber book that I've read, although I do have, I think is it Lobizona? That one that is that werewolves? that duology. I do have that on my want to read list on Goodreads. I don't own them, but we'll see if I want to pick them up once I've read Castle of the Cursed. Rule number 5 is a free. So 1, 2, 3. Spooky. The 5th prompt was spooky, which was up to interpretation, so I'm deciding to fill it with one of my most anticipated releases of the year, which is Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. Now, this is not necessarily scary spooky, but it is witchy spooky, so if it's open to interpretation, I'm going with it. So this is the really stunning Waterstones exclusive edition. Look at those sprayed edges, look at the little cat, so cute. So I'm very excited to read this one. It is about a witch and bookseller, so like she's a witch and she's a bookseller, which is amazing, and it is really all about a journey of finding yourself, learning to love yourself, and I'm really excited. It just sounds lovely, honestly. So Belle's powers weren't completely dormant, they were just a little sleepy. Belladonna Blackthorn hasn't lost her magical spark, but she hasn't seen it in a while either. Balancing work at her beloved London bookshop, Luna Books, with handling her toxic boss and concealing her witchcraft from those around her, Belle is burnt out. Perfecting the potential of her magic is the last thing on her mind, but when her 30th birthday brings a summons from her coven and a trial that tests her worthiness as a witch, Belle risks losing her magic forever. With only a month to fix things and a suspicion that dark forces may be working against her, Belle will need all the help she can get from the women in her life, from an unlikely mentor figure, and even from an infuriating coven watchman who's sworn to protect her. And it just says it's a cozy autumnal fantasy that will leave readers spellbound. May not be entirely spooky, but it is perfect for spooky season. So I'm going to be reading this, and I want to pick it up straight away. Sounds absolutely lovely and wonderful and adorable. Roll number 6. We haven't had any doubles so far. Touch wood. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Community shelf card. Okay, so these are the ones with prompts on. Let's go with the first one, which is a book that intimidates you. The 6th roll was a community shelf card, which was a load of prompts. So I looked up like TBR jar prompts for that one. And the one that came out was a book that intimidates you. So I have gone with possibly not one that would intimidate other people, but intimidates me. And that is Then Things Went Dark by B. Fitzgerald. The reason this intimidates me is because it's an adult thriller, and I don't really read adult thrillers all that much, and I'm also a scaredy cat, so that part intimidates me. But this is the first adult debut thriller from the author of Girl Goddess Queen, and I'm very excited. So B. Fitzgerald visited my Waterstones shop a little while ago and signed our copies of her books in store, and then she also brought proofs of her adult thriller that was coming out, and it is now out. So it was coming out on the 5th of September, but I'm very excited to read this still, and it is based in reality shows, which I love a good British reality TV show, but this one is about a murder on live TV, which just sounds amazing. So you had 6 people on this reality TV show on this deserted island, but then 3 weeks after the start of the show, 5 of the 6 sit in a police station, the 6th one is dead, and 12 million people were watching when he died, he died on camera. No one is talking, obviously, but how do you keep secrets when the whole world was watching? And also because a day before his death, Reese was the most hated man on television for some reason. So I am very excited to read this, but I am intimidated because it is kind of my first real adult thriller. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to think of it, but I am excited at the same time. Roll number 7. Oh, a double. Okay, so that means we need to add another roll. But first roll, 1, 2. TBR Veteran. Roll number 7 was a TBR Veteran, so this is just a book that you've had on your TBR for a really long time. And for this one, I've decided to go with If I Have to Be Haunted by Miranda Sun. This is the Fairy Loot edition, and we received this in, I feel like it was a long time ago, September 2023. So a year ago, which to me makes it a TBR veteran if it's over a year that you've had it. It is an absolutely gorgeous edition. I don't really know why I've never gotten to this one, but I just haven't. So I do feel like now is the time to read it, especially because it is spooky. You know, it's about ghosts. So I'm very excited for that. It does fit the spooky season. So our main character, she can speak to the dead, but her family doesn't want her to. So she's got enough on her plate. You know, she's trying to study for exams, trying to prepare for college, not speak to the dead. Then she stumbles upon the body of the most popular guy at school, Zach, and he is dead, and he wants her to resurrect him. So it touches on the power and conflicts of mother-daughter love, first romance, and finding your place in the world while honouring your culture. It says it's full of heart, humour and thrills and will put a spell on you, which sounds really good. So I am very excited to read this. Hopefully I will actually get to this and not have it on my TBR for another year. Roll number 8. Another double. Okay, that means we're up to 11 rolls now. But 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ghost Face. The next roll was Ghost Face, which is a book with a sound-related word in the title or the series title. So I've been a bit loose with my interpretation of this. I'm going with Drown Me With Dreams by Gabby Burton, which is the second book in the Sing Me to Sleep series. I think it's a duology. So obviously the word sing being in the series title is my interpretation of this prompt, but I really need to get to this one. This is one that I've got a NetGalley, and it is a sequel, and it would mean that I cross another series off my TBR, which I always love to do. So Sing Me to Sleep was the first book, and I gave that one 4 stars. And I actually ended up enjoying it way more than I thought that I would. It had really good world building. It's all to do with like sirens and mermaids, and there was a really great sibling dynamic in it as well. However, I didn't love the romance in it. I didn't really feel like there was any chemistry. So I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about the second book, because I feel like the romance is going to be more prominent, I guess. And also, I can't remember what happened at the end of Sing Me to Sleep, so I might need to look up a recap of that one, but I'm still excited to read Drown Me With Dreams, and it is, yeah, a loose interpretation of that prompt. Roll number 9. It's 8. Chance card. Okay, so that's from this stack. Let's go with the first one. Ooh, Nettle and Bone. The next roll was a chance card, and it was Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. So this would be my very first T. Kingfisher book that I've ever read. I have recently gotten another one by this author, but this would be the first one I've owned and read, and I'm really excited. I really feel like I'm gonna love T. Kingfisher. Hopefully I do, because obviously I now already own 2 of her books. But there's just something about them that just calls to me. So this one, after years of seeing her sisters suffer at the hands of an abusive prince, Mara, the shy, convent-raised third-born daughter, has finally realised that no one is coming to their rescue, no one except for Mara herself. Seeking help from a powerful grave witch, Mara is offered the tools to kill a prince, if she can complete 3 impossible tasks. But as is the way in tales of princes, witches and daughters, the impossible is only the beginning. On her quest, Mara is joined by the grave witch, a reluctant fairy godmother, a strapping former knight, and a chicken possessed by a demon. Together, the 5 of them intend to be the hand that closes around the throat of the prince and frees Mara's family and their kingdom from its tyrannous ruler at last. And Alexi Harrow's review of it says it's funny, frightening, and full of heart. That sounds so good. I'm just here for the chicken possessed by a demon. I'm all about that. That sounds amazing. So yeah, let's read this one. Okay, we are on roll number 10. It's another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, dice roll roulette. Okay, I don't really understand how this one works, but we will give it a go. So you have to roll the dice again, and each dot represents 50 pages. Okay, so let's roll them again. Let's roll that one again. Okay, so we've got 8 again. So that would be a book that has the number of pages between 375 and 424 pages. The next roll was the dice roll roulette, which was to find a book between 375 and 424 pages. So I have gone with You're the Problem, It's You by Emma R. Alban. This is the second book in the Mischief and Matchmaking series. I haven't read the first one, which is More Than a Best Friend. So if I can squeeze that one in as well, it'd be great. But I'm going to assume that these are kind of standalones set just in the same kind of world. They've all got like Taylor Swift titles, obviously, which sounds amazing. And I'm not that drawn to More Than a Best Friend because I think it is step-sisters romance. I don't really know. But You're the Problem, It's You is not. So hopefully I'll enjoy that. So in You're the Problem, It's You, it is enemies to lovers queer Victorian romance, and a young lord and a second son clash, but find themselves thrust together again and again by their meddling cousins, which I'm guessing is the characters in the first one. So Bobby Mason is sick of being second, born the spare, never trusted with family responsibility, never expected to amount to much, and he cannot stand the new Viscount de Meriven. James de Meriven, just come of age and into the Viscountcy, knows he's a disappointment. Keeping his head down and never raising anyone's expectations is how he survived life with his stepfather, and Bobby keeps rubbing James's failures in his face. So they can barely get through a single conversation without tensions boiling over, and their wonderful but determined cousins Beth and Gwen keep conveniently setting up group outings even though they just want to avoid each other entirely. And then an extortionist starts targeting their families and threatening their reputations, so they must find a way to work together. So it is a romance and it's queer, it's historical, so it does sound fun, but I'm just hoping I don't need to read the first one before that because I don't think I'm going to be able to get to More Than a Best Friend this month. So we'll see. So we are on roll number 11, which is another double. Okay, so 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stabby. So the 11th roll, there's a lot of rolls going on here. The 11th roll was Stabby, which is the bloody side of spooky season. So I am going with The Blonde Dies First by Joelle Wellington. This is the really gorgeous proof edition, which is stunning and actually came with like an Ouija board bookmark because it's like an Ouija board on there. It just sounds so much fun and sounds very stabby. So I feel like this fits. So it says on the back, so you want to know the rules of a horror film. The blonde dies first, then the black guy, the jerk, the film nerd, the independent kid, and the final girl saves the day. Well, we've never been very good at following the rules. Maybe there's still time to flip the script. Sounds very fun. So being murdered was not on the summer bucket list. Devon is determined to give her twin sister Drew the best summer ever before she heads off to college, no matter the cost. So when an Ouija board is pulled out at an exclusive private party, the twins are game. After all, it's just a bit of harmless fun, right? Wrong. A demon has been released from the board and is hellbent on hunting down Devon, Drew and their friends. Now the group finds themselves living out a slasher movie plot and everyone knows the blonde dies first. Can they flip the script and become the hunters instead of the hunted, or will their best summer ever be their last? That sounds like so much fun. I'm here for this. Sounds very stabby, sounds very bloody, sounds like a good time, honestly. So we are now on roll number 12. So that is another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Most recent purchase. So the next prompt, or the next roll, was most recent purchase. And this is definitely one of my most recent purchases because the receipt is still in there. But it is The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. So I've got both my T. Kingfisher books on this TBR and I'm really excited about it. I feel like they're perfect for spooky season, so I'm very excited to read them in October and just to finally get to them rather than, you know, get scared and put them off for ages. So in this one, I feel like this one is more scary than Nettle and Bone, because the very first line is, pray that they are hungry. Cara finds the words in the mysterious bunker that she's discovered behind a hole in the wall of her uncle's house. Freshly divorced and living back at home, Cara now becomes obsessed with these cryptic words and starts exploring this peculiar area, only to discover that it holds portals to countless alternate realities. But these places are haunted by creatures that seem to hear thoughts, and the more one fears them, the stronger they become. And it is apparently a compelling and white-knuckled horror novel that you won't be able to put down. And one of the reviews on here says that it is truly terrifying. So yeah, definitely sounds a bit scarier than Nettle and Bone, but perfect for October, and sounds like it'd be a really good time. Honestly, I'm really excited for this. Does that say something bad about me? That I'm excited for scary horror books? I don't know, because I can't even watch horror films, so I don't know why I'm excited for scary horror books, but we'll go with it. Roll number 13. Oh, that's a big one. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is Future. The next roll was Future, which was a rainy day book. So a book that you've been saving for the right time. And I feel like this is the right time now to read this book. So I have just reread the first book in this series, which was Ninth House. So the sequel to fill this prompt is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. So this is the sequel to Ninth House, which is like a dark academia adult. It's Leigh Bardugo's first adult book, and it's very heavy. Like, there's a lot of very heavy discussions on sexual assault, on drug usage and murder, and it is very heavy. I kind of forgot all of that. Well, not forgot, because it was quite traumatizing to read the first time around, but I kind of forgot how heavy it is, like when I was rereading it. But also I forgot what happens in it, so I really needed to do a reread, which was what I'd been putting off doing because I knew I needed to reread Ninth House before I read Hellbent. But now I've done that, so now's the perfect time to read Hellbent. I no longer need to save it for a rainy day or for the right time. Now is the right time. So it is a sequel. It's all about secret societies at Yale and about Darlington, who is one of the main characters in Ninth House, and I love him and I want him back. So hopefully we get him back in this one. There's something that happens at the end of Ninth House, or you find out what happens. You kind of get these hints throughout Ninth House as to what's happened, but you don't really know until like the last 150 pages. So I really need to read this one, and yeah, I'm very excited. So hopefully I will get to this one in October, finally. Roll number 14. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is Bone. The next roll was Bone, which is a book with a bone-coloured cover, and the one I'm going for with this one is Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Farida Abike Aimide. This one, I feel like it is bone-coloured, you know? Like, it's anywhere between, like, white to brown, and I feel like this fits. Like, it's kind of like a slightly aged bone. You know what I mean? So this one is the second book from the author of Ace of Spades, which was a kind of dark academia YA thriller that I read a couple of years ago and loved. I read it in one sitting. I was absolutely obsessed with it. 5 out of 5 stars. It deals with, like, eugenics and racism, and it was just chilling, and it was so good, incredibly well written. So I'm really excited to read another YA thriller from this author. This one is again dark academia based. Our main character is the new girl at the prestigious Alfred Nobel Academy. No idea what to expect at her new boarding school. She certainly didn't imagine her roommate would go missing on the first night, and then people are starting to suspect her for it. And then everyone is talking about her, including the Unholy Trinity, which is like the 3 most popular girls at school. And then a student is found dead. And it's clear that there's more to this academy and its students than our main character could have ever imagined. But secrets lurk around every corner, including secrets that could rival even her own. What secrets do you have? I'm very intrigued. I love this author's writing style. I feel like this is going to be really fun. It's a bit of a whopper though. It's big. Like, this is nearly 550 pages-ish, which is quite large for a YA thriller, but hopefully I'll get through it really quickly like I did with Ace of Spades. Roll number 15. It's a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is Ghost Tour. Okay, so the next roll was Ghost Tour, which is a book with a historical element, and I'm using another one of my NetGalley arcs to fill this one, which is going to be Gorse by Sam K. Horton. I love the cover of this one, first of all, it looks amazing. The Bear and the Nightingale meets Poldark in this stunning historical fantasy debut where folklore battles faith in 18th century Cornwall. I think this might have been written for me. I love The Bear and the Nightingale and I love Poldark. If you have not watched Poldark, I mean, I know Poldark is a book series, but I haven't read that. I've watched the show. If you have not watched Poldark, watch it. It is one of the best TV shows out there, especially if you love like historical TV shows like Bridgerton, that kind of thing. I mean, it's not like Bridgerton at all, but it is amazing. So good. Anyway, Cornwall, 1786. For years, the villagers of Mycombe have turned to their keeper, the old and battle-scarred Lord Pelagius Hunt, mediator between the worlds of men and fae, for help. But this is a time of change. Belief in the old ways, in the Piskies and Spriggans, has dimmed, kindled instead in the Reverend Cleaver's fiery pulpit. His church stands proud above the mire, God's name is whispered, hushed and loved. Now death stalks Mycombe on the moor. There are corpses in the heather, there is blood in the gorse. Nancy Bligh is determined to do what Pell will not, maintain the balance between the fae and the human world, be the keeper that he refuses to be. Blessed with natural sight, friend to Spriggans, Piskies, and human locals of Mycombe, Nancy has power that Pell never had, and never lets her use. But as Mycombe falls into darkness, perhaps her time has come. A poignant and lyrical examination of faith, love, and grief, Gorse asks, what do we choose to believe in, and how does that shape who we are? Sounds like a bit of me, that. I love the sound of that. Roll number 16 is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're on spooky again. So the next roll was once again spooky, which again is open to interpretation. So I'm going with a much more spooky interpretation of this one rather than a cozy spooky interpretation. This one is vampire spooky. It's Lucy Undying by Kirsten White. This was recently published, but this is the gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous proof edition that was very kindly sent by the publisher. And I'm so excited to read this one. It looks amazing. It looks gorgeous. It is an epic and seductive gothic fantasy. Her name was written in the pages of someone else's story. Lucy Westenra was one of Dracula's first victims, but her death was only the beginning. Lucy rose from the grave a vampire and has spent her immortal life trying to escape from Dracula's clutches and trying to discover who she really is and what she truly wants. Her undead life takes an unexpected turn when, in 21st century London, she meets another woman who is also yearning to break free from her past. Iris's family has built a health empire based on a sinister secret, and they'll do anything to stay in power. Lucy has long believed she would never love again, but she finds herself compelled by the charming Iris, while Iris is mesmerised by the confident and glamorous Lucy. But their intense connection and blossoming love is threatened by forces from without. Iris's mother won't let go of her without a fight, and Lucy's past still has fangs. Dracula is on the prowl again. Lucy Westenra has been a tragically murdered teen, a lonesome adventurer, and a fearsome hunter, but happiness always eluded her. Can she find the strength to destroy Dracula once and for all, or will her heart once again be her undoing? This sounds insane. I've been wanting to read this since I got it. I can't believe I haven't gotten to it yet. I need to read this one, I really do. It's gorgeous, it's stunning, it sounds amazing, sounds like a 5-star read to me. So roll number 17 is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, a most recent purchase. Okay, and then we had another prompt that we'd already gone, which was most recent purchase once again. So I'm doing this one with the most recent pre-order that's come in for me to kind of mix it up a little bit, but also because I just really want to get to this book. It is obviously Percy Jackson and the Wrath of the Triple Goddess by Rick Riordan. This is the 7th book in the Percy Jackson universe, or in the Percy Jackson series, and it's stunning. Look at those edges. Look at them. Look at them. If you don't know by now, and you should, anyone who knows me would know, Percy Jackson is my favourite series of all time. I can't believe we're getting new books in this series in the year of 2024. So obviously I loved Percy Jackson Chalice of the Gods when that came out last year. Obviously a 5-star read. Obviously Wrath of the Triple Goddess is going to be a 5-star read. There is no world where any Percy Jackson books are not a 5-star read for me, so this is obviously kind of a cop-out because I'm going to read it and love it no matter when I read it, but I need to get to it soon because I don't want to be spoiled, you know? And I'm so excited. So in these like new books that are coming out in the series, Percy Jackson is trying to get recommendation letters for his college applications. And he's gotten one from the first book of this new sort of trilogy. And in this one, to get his second letter, he and Grover and Annabeth are on a quest for Hecate, which does kind of sound like it's perfect for spooky season because Hecate is the goddess of like magic and witches. So yeah, sounds perfect for October. I think it fits anyway, even if it wasn't Percy Jackson, but obviously I'm going to read it anyway because it is Percy Jackson. So yeah, this was my technically most recent pre-order that came in, so most recent purchase. So yeah, I'm going with this. Obviously I want to read it. Roll 18 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a book that is less than 300 pages, a small book. Okay, and the next prompt was less than 300 pages. So it's kind of a loose interpretation of this. I'm going with one of my NetGalley arcs, which is The Breakup Pact by Emma Lord. On my NetGalley ebook file on the app, it says it's 320 pages, but you've got to remember that there's going to be like all of the kind of pages at the front, like title pages, all of that, and then all of the acknowledgements and stuff pages at the back. So I'm going to guess it's going to be around 300 pages, if not less than 300 pages when you remove all of those. So that's what we're going with, because I just needed to try and get it in here somehow. And it is a romance, an adult romance, so it's not really going to fit any of the spookier prompts. We're going with that. But it is The Breakup Act. And I really like Emma Lord. I like her writing a lot. I love her YA contemporaries. This is her first adult romance, so I'm intrigued to see how she gets on with that, how that works out. I'm really excited for that, especially with this, because it is kind of friends to lovers, but also fake dating, which is like two of my favourite tropes. Two best friends who haven't spoken in 10 years pretend to date after breakups with their respective exes go viral. June and Levi were best friends as teenagers until the day they weren't. Now June is struggling to make rent on her beachside tea shop. Levi is living a New York cliché as a disillusioned hedge fund manager and failed novelist, and they've barely spoken in years. But after they both experienced public, humiliating breakups with their exes that spread like wildfire across TikTok rabbit holes and daytime talk shows alike, they accidentally make some juicy gossip of their own. A photo of them together has the internet convinced they're a couple. With so many people rooting for them, they decide to put aside their rocky past and make a pact to fuel the fire. Pretending to date will help June's shop get back on its feet and make Levi's ex realise that she made a mistake. All they have to do is convince the world they're in love, one swoon-worthy photo op at a time. 2 viral breakups, 1 fake relationship, 5 sparkling, heart-pounding dates. June and Levi can definitely pull this off without their hearts getting involved, because everyone knows fake dating doesn't come with real feelings, right? I love a romance. I love an adult romance. I love friends to lovers. I love fake dating. I'm excited. You know, romances don't really fit October, but for this one, I'll make an exception. Okay, so roll number 19 is 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is Present. Okay, and then the next roll was Present, which is a book that you want to read right now, and I'm going to be putting in the other of my long-listed Waterstones Children's Book Prize titles in there, because obviously I need to read it right now, so it fits that. Okay, so we have now rolled all of the things to get my ones that I need to read this month on there, but as we did roll 3 doubles, we have to add in 3 more rolls. So this is now roll 20. So that is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is Jason. Or the 20th roll, 20 books on this TBR already, guys, was Jason, which means 13 letters in the title. So I've gone with Unholy Terrors by Lyndall Clipstone, which I was very kindly sent by the publisher. It does have 13 letters in the title, and it does look pretty perfect for spooky season. I mean, look at that cover. The red, the skulls, the kind of weird house. Sounds perfect. Eveline Blackthorn has devoted her whole life to the Wardens, those who wield arcane magic to guard their community against monsters known as the Vespertine. But Eveline's own magic has failed to appear. She never truly feels she belongs, and her thoughts turn often towards the dangerous Vespertine-filled moors where her mother died and where Eveline is sure answers to her own heritage lie. Then Eveline discovers a startling truth in the form of Ravel. Severin, a rogue Vespertine with secrets of his own. When Eveline's best friend Lux is shockingly kidnapped, Ravel offers his assistance but at a heavy price in order to rescue Lux from the Thousandfold, and to protect Eveline on the dangerous journey there, he will need to use Vespertine magic, and Eveline will have to allow Ravel to feed from her. But it is forbidden for a warden to feed a Vespertine, let alone love one, and Eveline and Ravel must put their fractured temporary trust in each other to the ultimate test. A blood-stained tale of a girl torn between her vows and her heart, where falling in love may be the deepest sin of all. It sounds quite complicated, but I'm still here for it. I still think this is going to be quite good. I've never read a Lyndall Clipstone before. I know that they are the author of Lake's Edge, which I haven't read, but also seems quite good for spooky season, so I'll read this one and hopefully I'll want to read more from this author. Roll 21 is 9. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, another chance card. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. This is Long Live Evil by Sarah Rees Brennan. I've been wanting to read that for a long time. And then the 21st roll was a chance card, which was Long Live Evil by Sarah Rees Brennan. This is the Fairylit edition and I am desperate to read this one. So it is all about this girl who, when she's dying, ends up sort of taking a second chance at life by going into her favourite book series, but rather than being the heroine to the Emperor, I think it is, she ends up being the villain of the story, which she doesn't mind because they get all the best clothes, the best one-liners, and she kind of creates this like ragtag group of villains. You've got an axe-wielding maid, a shiny knight with dark moods, a homicidal bodyguard, and a playboy spy master with a golden heart and a filthy reputation. So it sounds really fun. I just think it sounds like it's gonna be just something really unique and different, and I'm really excited. It's my first Sarah Rees Brennan that I'll have read, but I'm so here for it. It sounds amazing. Okay, and the final roll from the doubles is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is Grady Hendrix. And the final book that I have rolled the prompt was Grady Hendrix, which is read a book with humour or a book by Grady Hendrix. I've only ever read one book by Grady Hendrix, which was The Final Girl Support Group, and I enjoyed that one. I don't own any other books by Grady Hendrix, and although I have requested on NetGalley an arc of his next book, which is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, so I'm very excited for that one. Hopefully I get approved for that one. If I do, that could fill this prompt. If not, I have picked out a book with humour, which I believe is going to be Brother Song by TJ Klune. Obviously I haven't read this one, so I don't know if it is humorous, but TJ Klune's books are always really funny, especially these Green Creek ones. They're devastating, but funny. This is the 4th book in the Green Creek series, and it is the final one, so I do really want to read this one, finish the series, but at the same time I don't want to leave these characters because I love them so much, but I feel like it is going to be really funny. TJ Klune has this amazing sense of humour that I can't even really describe. It's just like he'll come out with these one-liners in his books that just has you sort of getting shocked at that you're laughing at it in the middle of this horrifying scene or whatever. So I'm excited to read this one, but intimidated. Scary to be leaving these characters behind and what could happen, because TJ Klune does not pull his punches. He's not afraid to kill off characters that you love and devastate you. And this is the final one, so they could like all die. Hopefully not, but they could. So that was the end of my Spookoplathon October TBR. I'm very excited to be participating in Spookoplathon with a video this year, and I'm really excited for all of these books on my TBR, although I am intimidated by them. If I read all of these books on this TBR, that's 22 books. On average, I probably read 17 to 18 books in a month, so I'm not sure why I think I'm gonna read 22, but I do have a few days of holiday this month and a couple of long train journeys, so hopefully I will get quite a lot of reading done on those, and I'm hoping that I might be able to fit in another 24-hour readathon at some point this month. I'm not sure when, but hopefully I will be able to, so we'll see what I can do. But yes, I am very excited to read all of these. I just love October, I love spooky season, I love reading, I want to say I love reading scary books, but I hate scary stuff, so I don't know why I love reading scary books, because I don't like scary films at all, or scary shows, but what can you do? I'm just a contradiction. Anyway, let me know what is on your October TBR. Let me know if you're participating in Spookoplathon, how many rolls or doubles did you have to do, and let me know which of these books you think that I should read first. I think I want to read one of the T. Kingfisher books first, but I don't know. We'll see what I get to. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you wanna, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye!